Dear student, previous class I discussed about the electrical conductivity. In electrical conductivity, we generally discussed about the Ohm's law, resistance, specific resistance, conductance, specific conductance, molar conductance, equivalent conductance, and relation between molar conductance and equivalent conductance. Some problem related to the molar conductance, specific conductance, equivalent conductance. And finally, I discussed about the factor affecting the conductance. Now I will discuss about the Colar's law. Colar's law. It is also called law of independent migration of ions. Suppose I will take an weak electrolyte, acetic acid. Acetic acid undergoes ionization, gives acetate ion and H plus. Experimentally, it is seen that the equivalent conductance of acetic acid at infinite dilution is equal to the sum of individual equivalent conductance of the two constituent ions. That means equivalent conductance of acetic acid at infinite dilution is equal to the equivalent conductance of acetate ion at infinite dilution plus equivalent conductance of H plus ion at infinite dilution. From this concept, I can write the statement of Colar's law. Statement of Colar's law. According to Colar's law, at infinite dilution, the equivalent conductance of any weak electrolyte is equal to the sum of individual equivalent conductance of constituent ions. Next I will explain the explanation of Colar's law. Mathematically I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution equal to equivalent conductance of the cation plus equivalent conductance of the anion. Here I can write this is your equivalent conductance of weak electrolyte at infinite dilution. This term is your ionic conductance, that is your equivalent conductance of the cation at infinite dilution. Similarly, this term is your ionic conductance or equivalent conductance of anion at infinite dilution. By the help of Colar's law, we can able to calculate calculate the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for a pair of strong electrolyte having same cation or anion. Suppose I will take example KCl, NaCl. These two are electrolyte which having same anion but different cation. Experimentally it is seen that the equivalent conductance of KCl at infinite dilution is equal to 149.86 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. Similarly for NaCl the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution is 126.45 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. If I will find the difference between the equivalent conductance of KCl and NaCl at infinite dilution, then the difference is equal to 23.41 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. This is your example number 1 in which the anion is same but the cation is different. Suppose I will take the other example KBr and NaBr. Experimentally it is seen that the equivalent conductance of KBr at infinite dilution is equal to 151.92 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. Similarly the equivalent conductance of NaBr at infinite dilution is 120.51 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. If I will find the difference, then the difference is also equal to 23.41 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. If I will take another examples in which the cation is same but the anion is different, then it gives also a constant difference. For example, if I will take KCl and KBr, here cation is same but the anion is different. If I will take the difference of equivalent conductance of KBr and equivalent conductance of KCl at infinite dilution, then these two giving a difference that is your 2.06 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. Like that you can take another example also. Suppose I will take NaCl, NaBr. In this example, the cation is same but the anion is different. If I will take the difference of equivalent conductance of NaCl and the equivalent conductance of NaBr at infinite dilution, then these two value also give the difference 2.06 ohm inverse m square gram equivalent inverse. From this it is clear that the difference in conductance of any two cation or anion to be appears same irrespective of the other ion with which they are attached. Now I will explain about the application of Collar's law. First application is your determination of equivalent conductance of electrolyte at infinite dilution. Second application is your determination of degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. These are the application of Collar's law. Now I will do some problem related to the Collar's law. First problem is the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium acetate, sodium chloride and hydrochloric acid are 70, 109, 384 mho m square gram equivalent inverse respectively. Calculate the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetic acid. Here lambda 0 for CH3CO Na is given. That is 78 mho into cm square gram equivalent inverse. Similarly, equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium chloride NaCl is given. That is 109 mho cm square gram equivalent inverse. Like that, you can also think about equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for hydrochloric acid is also given. That is 384 mho cm square gram equivalent inverse. By applying Collard's law, I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium acetate is equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetate ion plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium ion. Like that, I can also write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for NaCl is equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Na plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Cl minus. Similarly, I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for HCl equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for H plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Cl minus. Our aim to find out the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetic acid. So by applying Collard's law, I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution of acetic acid is equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetate ion plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for H+. We need these two ions. These two ions are present in sodium acetate and another is present in HCl. So first add these two. That means I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium acetate plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for HCl. Look at that, here Na plus and Cl minus are present. This is not necessary, so this can be subtracted. That means next I will subtract the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for NaCl. From this it is clear that at the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for sodium acetate with the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for HCl and subtract the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for NaCl from these two additions. That means I can write the value of this is 78 plus the value of this is 384 minus the value of this is 109. By solving, I can write an answer 353 ohm inverse cm square gram equivalent inverse. Our question is find the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetic acid. So I can write equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for acetic acid. Acetic acid is equal to 353 ohm inverse cm square gram equivalent inverse. Now I will solve the problem number 2. Calculate the degree of dissociation of NaCl in 0.1 n solution. The equivalent conductance at this dilution is 98.4 mho cm square gram equivalent inverse, and ionic conductance of sodium and chloride ion are 43.4 and 65.5 mho cm square gram equivalent inverse respectively. Our aim to find out the degree of dissociation. We know that degree of dissociation equal to equivalent conductance at particular concentration divided by equivalent conductance at infinite dilution. Here equivalent conductance at particular concentration is given, that is your 98.4 mole cm square gram equivalent inverse. Also here equivalent conductance at the infinite dilution for Na plus is given, that is your 43.4 mole cm square gram equivalent inverse. Here also equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Cl minus is given, that is your 65.5 mole cm square gram equivalent inverse. Here this term is given. I am to find out this term by applying Polar's law. I can find this term, that is your equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for NaCl equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Na plus equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for Cl minus. That means equivalent conductance at infinite dilution for NaCl equal to 43.4 plus 65.5. By solving, I can write an answer 108.9 mole cm square gram equivalent inverse. Now put this value and this value in this equation, then I can write alpha equal to 98.4 divided by 108.9, which is equal to 0.9036. Therefore, I can write degree of dissociation of NaCl equal to 0.9036. Next, I will explain about the cell. Cell is a system or arrangement in which the electrodes are fitted in a electrolyte or different type of electrolyte. There are two types of cell. Number one is your electrolytic cell. Number two is your galvanic cell. In electrolytic cell, electrical energy is converted into chemical energy, but in galvanic cell, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. This is the difference between electrolytic cell and galvanic cell. This is your galvanic cell. Now I will explain about the galvanic cell. It is also called voltaic cell. In galvanic cell, the chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. This is your galvanic cell. At first I will explain about the construction of galvanic cell. Here two electrolytic tank is taken. This is your one electrolytic tank and this is your another electrolytic tank. In first electrolytic tank, 0.1 m ZnSO4 solution is taken. In second electrolytic tank, 0.1 m copper sulfate solution is taken. Here zinc rod is taken as anode, which is dipped in 0.1 m zinc sulfate solution, while copper rod is taken as cathode, which is dipped in 0.1 m copper sulfate solution. Now these two electrodes are connected by a galvanometer. These two electrolytic tanks are joined by a salt bridge. In salt bridge, KCl is taken in agar. Here cotton plug is fixed the two ends of the salt bridge. This is all about the construction of galvanic cell. Next I will explain about the function of galvanic cell. When these two electrodes are connected to the galvanometer, then the zinc rod which acts as the anode undergoes oxidation. That means I can write at anode Zn gives Zn2 plus 2 electron. Now the Zn2 plus ion goes to the zinc sulfate solution and the 2 electron present here. As a result, the electron density on this electrode goes on increases. That's why this is called negative electrode. On the other hand, the Cu2 plus ion present in the copper sulfate solution goes to the copper rod which acts as a cathode, and here reduction takes place. So I can write at cathode Cu2 plus 2 electron gives Cu. There is a deficiency in electron. As a result, the electron present in the zinc rod flows from zinc rod to copper rod. As a result, I can write this is the direction of flow of electron. We know that the current always flow in the opposite direction of the electron, so the flow of current is this. That means current flow from cathode to anode, electron flow from anode to cathode. By adding these two equations, I can write the net cell reaction Zn solid plus U2 plus aqueous gives Zn2 plus aqueous plus U solid. By the help of net cell reaction, I can write the cell representation Zn solid slash Zn2 plus aqueous. Here salt bridge is present, so I can write by giving the double slash. Then I can write Cu2 plus slash Cu. This is the cell representation for galvanic cell. Here I can write oxidation. This is your salt bridge. This is your reduction. Here electron density is more, so this is your negative electrode. Here electron density is less, so this is your said to be positive electrode. Here oxidation takes place, so this is your anode. Here reduction takes place, so this is your cathode. Next I will explain about the salt bridge and its function. Salt bridge is a U-type tube. In salt bridge, agar is filled. Here an inert solution is taken which do not react with the electrolyte taken in the electrolytic tank, and also the solution which is taken in the salt bridge do not participate in the electrochemical changes. The salt bridge make an internal continuity between the two half cell. This is your oxidation half cell, this is your reduction half cell. The agar is a jelly-like substance which is obtained from algae. It is also called agar. Then I will explain about the function of salt bridge. First function is it complete inner cell circuit. Otherwise the current cannot be flow. Second point is it prevent the flow of electrolyte from one half cell to another half cell. Next application is it minimize the liquid junction potential. After some time, here the Zn2 plus ion concentration is more as compared to the SO42 minus ion, because the zinc rod undergoes oxidation and form Zn2 plus ion, and that Zn2 plus ion enter into the ZnSO4 solution. On the other hand, here the concentration of Cu2 plus ion decreases as compared to the concentration of SO4 2 minus ion, because the Cu2 plus ion present in CuSO4 solution undergoes reduction and deposited at the cathode. So after some time interval, this half cell becomes more and more positive. On the other hand, this half cell become more and more negative. To maintain such type of electrical neutrality, the salt bridge act as a main role. In such case, the solution present in the salt bridge break into ion, and the negative part goes to this half cell and maintain the electrical neutrality with the increased positive charge. On the other hand, the positive part of the solution comes in contact with the negative ions present in this half cell and maintain the electrical neutrality. As a result, Cl minus come in contact with this half cell to maintain the electrical neutrality. On the other hand, K plus comes in contact with this half cell to maintain the electrical neutrality. So the main function of salt bridge is to maintain the electrical neutrality of the electrolytes present in two half cell. These are the function of salt bridge. In exam, a 3-mark question will come. What is salt bridge? Write the function of salt bridge. Another long question come in the exam. What is galvanic cell? Write the construction and function of galvanic cell. What is salt bridge? Write the function of salt bridge. This is an important long question. Next, I will discuss about the Daniell cell. Daniell cell is a galvanic cell in which the zinc copper sulfate reaction takes place. So I can say Daniell cell is a galvanic cell in which zinc copper sulfate reaction takes place. At first, I will discuss about the construction of Daniell cell. For this cell, a copper vessel is taken. This is your copper vessel. In copper vessel, copper sulfate solution is taken. A porous pot is dipped in the copper sulfate solution. This is your porous pot. Is dipped in the copper sulfate solution. In the porous pot, zinc sulfate solution is taken. This is your zinc rod, and this zinc rod and the copper vessel connected through the galvanometer. Here, copper vessel act as a electrolytic tank and also act as an electrode. Here, zinc rod act as anode and it is called your negative electrode. On the other hand, copper vessel act as your cathode and it is your positive electrode. Galvanic cell and Daniell cell are similar with each other. There is only difference in the construction. Next, I will explain about the function of Daniell cell. When the zinc rod and the copper vessel connected through the galvanometer, then the zinc undergoes oxidation which act as an anode. That means I can write at anode zinc undergoes oxidation, gives Zn2 plus 2 electron. On the other hand, the copper vessel also undergoes reduction. So I can write at cathode Cu2 plus 2 electron gives Cu. So the net cell reaction is your Zn plus Cu2 plus gives Zn2 plus Cu. This is your net cell reaction. The cell representation for this cell is your Zn solid slash Zn2 plus. This is your said to be oxidation. Then double slash. This indicate porous part. In case of galvanic cell, this is your short bridge. Next is your Cu2 plus slash Cu. This is your reduction. After some time there is a loss of zinc in the zinc rod. On the other hand, copper is deposited in the inner side of the copper vessel. This is all about your Daniell cell. Next I will explain about the net cell reaction and representation. Representation means cell representation. Net cell reaction and representation of other galvanic cell. I will discuss the first cell is your copper silver nitrate cell. This part undergoes oxidation, this part undergoes reduction. So I can write Cu solid gives Cu2 plus aqueous plus 2 electron. This is your called oxidation half cell reaction which occur at anode. On the other hand, I can write the reduction half cell reaction at cathode. I can write 2Ag plus aqueous plus 2 electron gives it 2Ag solid. This is your reduction reaction. When I will add these two equations, then I can write the net cell reaction. The net cell reaction is your Cu solid plus 2Ag plus aqueous gives Cu2 plus aqueous plus 2Ag solid. Next I will write the cell representation. Cu solid slash Cu2 plus aqueous double slash Ag plus aqueous slash Ag solid. This part is your said to be oxidation. This part is your said to be reduction. Next cell is your nickel silver nitrate cell. This part undergoes oxidation, this part undergoes reduction. So I can write oxidation half cell reaction at anode. Nickel solid gives Ni2 plus aqueous plus 2 electron. Reduction half cell reaction at cathode is your what? 2Ag plus aqueous plus 2 electron gives it 2Ag solid. Now I will add these two equation, then I can write net cell reaction is your Ni solid plus 2Ag plus aqueous gives Ni2 plus aqueous plus 2Ag solid. Next I will write the cell representation. Cell representation is your Ni solid slash Ni2 plus aqueous double slash Ag plus aqueous slash Ag solid. This part is your oxidation, this part is your reduction. This part is your oxidation, this part is your reduction. The third number cell is your zinc HCl cell. This part undergoes oxidation, this part undergoes reduction, so I can write oxidation half cell reaction at anode. The reaction is your Zn solid gives Zn2 plus aqueous plus 2 electron. The reduction half cell reaction at cathode is your what? 2H plus aqueous plus 2 electron gives H2 gas. The net cell reaction is your what? Zn solid plus 2H plus aqueous gives Zn2 plus aqueous plus H2 gas. Cell representation is your Zn solid slash Zn2 plus aqueous double slash H plus aqueous slash H2 gas. Next cell is your H2CuSO4 cell. This part undergoes oxidation, this part undergoes reduction. So I can write oxidation half cell reaction at anode is your H2 gas gives 2H plus 2 electron. Reduction half cell reaction at cathode is your Cu2 plus aqueous plus 2 electron gives Cu solid. Net cell reaction is your add these two, then I can write H2 gas plus Cu2 plus aqueous gives 2H plus aqueous plus U solid. Cell representation is your H2 gas slash 2H plus aqueous double slash Cu2 plus aqueous slash Cu solid. This is your oxidation, this is your reduction. This is all about the net cell reaction and the representation of other galvanic cell.